All right, I've been, as usual, past due in posting videos. I've been recording some, but I don't have time to edit or post them. If anyone wants to do a bunch of video editing for free, let me know because I've got probably literally days of video that I just haven't posted. Anyway, what you see before is the crispy motors from the last U.S. mile race, and as per usual, the coupling does not want to become uncoupled, even though I applied judicious amounts of anti-seize. I've been having this problem fairly often, but recently it's been worse than usual. I'm not quite sure why. Last time I had to cut the coupling with the plasma torch, and that kills both motors in the process. But anyway, not going to be using that anymore. I'm going to take them apart because that motor is still good, and I probably have some parts that I can salvage out of that motor. I'll put it back together for a static display. Instead, I'm going to be using this. These are actually 4 motors and a custom gearbox that came from Lone Star EV that they use for Panic in Detroit. I bought the gearbox from John, and he just cut me a really great deal. So now I've got his 4 motors that have been, he specifically lightened up. Took a lot, as you can see, a lot of iron off of the bells, or off of the cylinders. So that's going to reduce the back EMF, and it's going to raise the RPM. It's going to decrease the torque and raise that point at which the torque starts to drop off. It's actually good because these motors, I was painfully aware, they're not for a shortage of torque. We want to get the RPMs up. That helps out with gearing, with cooling, and also with power. So before with this motor system, I was peaking out at about less than 3,000 RPM is when the torque would start to drop off and the power would start to drop off. These should be higher. I don't know how high. We don't have any good data on it. So first thing at business is get this into the vehicle, and then I'm going to dyno test it. I know I said that last year, but I'm actually going to find time to do that before a race. But anyway, so that is now going to be going into silent. So twice as many motors, twice as much torque. Each motor will only see 1,500 amps and 150 volts, so it should be well in the safe range of the motor, as opposed to pushing well over 2,000 amps and for 30 seconds. You guys have seen the videos and the results of that. So, gonna get those fixed up, and the question is, of course, I got to fit them into the truck. The truck was specifically set up to fit those dual motors. So before, you can see the cross member, that's the engine mount or the motor mount that I had made up before, tied into the stock motor mounts. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Of course, it doesn't fit. That would be too easy. Yeah. But it's actually not going to be that hard. What I'm planning on doing is the gearbox will fit right where the old motor mounts are. I'll make a cradle that'll all tie in to try directly, but I won't have enough room for the firewall, so I'm going to have to push the firewall back about 3 or 4 inches. I think I can actually get away with just going in with a bottle jack. I've got a nice bed of structure here with the engine mount, so I can have a flat face there that I can actually just push on those corners there to be able to relieve space. I'm going to cut into my foot space for the throttle, but that's easy to reconfigure. So, I also, as you see, now I've cut out here. The other option is I could reconfigure the motors so that I had 4 on one side in the gearbox, not have to do that, but it would then stick out of the truck, which I think would actually look pretty cool, and I don't have a problem with doing that. The issue there being I have to reconfigure this, and the mounting of it becomes a little bit more difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push back the firewall. Manhandling these guys compared to just manhandling those two, it's a whole different ball game. My hoist is up to it, but before, when I install the motor, as you guys see in previous videos, I would come down in over the cross member at a 45 degrees. Instead, I'm making this removable. So, well, I have removed it. I'm going to put it back in a removable sort of way, so I can be able to take the motor in and out much easier for test fitting, for fitting. Hopefully not for having to replace burnt motors, but we'll jump off that bridge if we come to it. Murphy's Law says that if I don't make it easy to fix up the motors, I won't have to fix the motors. So let's hope that weird superstition would actually come true. So anyway, that's the update. Real big thanks to John Metric at Lone Star EV. If he hadn't done everything for me that he had on this deal, then Silent might be relegated to the museum. So, but with 4 motors, it's back on. Till next time.